Welcome to another episode of Made, where today I'm going to be showing y'all the new tow rig. This is a 1989 Chevy 2500, two-wheel drive with a 454 and turbo 400. Picked this up the other day for, what was it, $5,200? All original interior. Headliner and everything still intact. That green marking is about the only really flaws I see inside of it, besides just the old wear and tear. Got that 8-foot bed with the saddle tanks. Already replaced both fuel tanks in there. I don't know if you can kind of see it, but replaced it with two brand new 20-gallon tanks on each side. The wheel and tire setup might look a little bit familiar. Those are actually the wheels and tires from my 97 Dodge with a 12-valve Cummins. And all I did is I swapped over the center caps from the Chevy just to make it look a little bit better. It does have a Ford bumper on it. Buddy of mine pointed that out to me the other day. So we're going to be taking that off and putting the old school Chevy bumper back on it. Got a lot of big plans for this truck. There's one of the basically only major dents of the vehicle. As far as rust goes, I mean, there's really not many flaws rust-wise on this truck, which really surprised me. I haven't really cleaned the interior besides vacuuming it out. You can kind of see right up in there. That's about the worst rust I have on the whole vehicle. Just that little spot. Did put a new fuel switch in it. I am having to work out a bunch of the little electrical demons on this truck because the prior owners had some sketchy looking things going on. You know, something like that has just a push button starter, even though the ignition works just fine. So that's all going to be getting removed and taken care of. Everything still works like it should. But this center console is going to be getting pulled out, and I'm going to build a custom one that's going to run from back here all the way up to the front. That way I can put in a double DIN touchscreen radio, have cup holders in it, and then also up here on the top I'll have the shifter for the new transmission setup. Like I said, the truck has a 454 on it, turbo 400. It's still got all the smog and everything on it, bone stock. So let's see. Give y'all a tour of the engine bay. This is all a temporary setup because we will be swapping my 12-valve Cummins in here in the near future. So all I've done is just put a battery mount up in here and just a little air filter deal on top. That's about it. Everything else is still factory. You still got the smog pump down there and all the other smog stuff running all over everything. I would take it all off, but like I said, I'm going to be pulling this whole drivetrain out and replacing it with that 12-valve. Looks like at some point in time they did have a fire. Guessing it was from this AC compressor. But everything's going to be touched up, cleaned up. You kind of see where they primered it up right here to cover up the rust spots. So I'm going to have to sand down the hood and also that section up there, repaint it all white. But man, this thing runs like a top. Fires right up with no hesitation. I really love this truck. The new future goal for this truck, which originally the original goals were going to be for that Suburban, because I couldn't find one of these trucks at the beginning, and now I got my hands on one. 1 second, got a little airplane flying over. Anyways, so the future goal for this build, 12 valve Cummins swap. I'm going to convert it over to a 4-wheel drive. And then it's going to be going up on deuce and a half axles, front and rear steer, and most likely 58-inch Mickey Thompson DOT tires. And this will be the new tow rig. So that way I got basically a daily driver monster truck hauling this monster truck on 58s. Then that will be getting the 454 also. That's for a whole nother build segment. Anyways, back to this. This is the new rig. I mean, it's really amazing how well conditioned this thing's been kept in for being an 89 model and only, what, 52,000 miles? So let me take you over to this Dodge and show y'all what we're going to be working with. So here's my old hoopty of a Dodge. You're about to see why I bought this just as a donor. Granted, when I bought it as a donor, I never expected to make it into a daily driver, which I did for a decent amount of time. This is the whole reason why I went ahead and got another vehicle. We ain't got no carpet. Ain't got no dash. I mean, but hey, it fires right up. Last trip with this was actually going and picking up that new Silverado. Back window don't even latch, got water pouring all in it. Smells horrible. So, like I said, we'll be pulling the drivetrain out of it. 2-wheel drive drivetrain, which is perfect for what I want because I will be able to run a divorce transfer case, making it to a 4-wheel drive. So we got 12 valve Cummins, P pump, big old air filter, awesome North Star batteries. So plans to this, I'll pull this drivetrain out. Once I clean up my shop, I'm gonna pull this whole Dodge in there to pull it out and kind of go through it. I was wanting to rebuild the whole thing, but my last fill up on that new truck, I got 6.7 miles to the gallon. So I may not rebuild this whole thing and leave it at, what is it, 250,000 miles is on it, which really ain't nothing for a Cummins. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it as is. Maybe replace any type of little seal or gasket that might be leaking. I know I am leaking some diesel fuel somewhere around this area, which I've done replace this before, if I can get to focus. I've done replace that, a few other things already. We'll see where it all falls. But that's the donor vehicle. We'll have that square body Cummins swap probably here in the next, I give it maybe 2 months. I got to get that mud truck back up and running with a new motor and everything. So once that's done, then I'll go ahead and tackle this next project. And then this whole thing is going to the scrapyard unless somebody wants to give me a couple $100 for it. So that concludes this episode. Stay tuned for more updates.